Okay, so Clarence Thomas was born on June 23rd, 1948 in Pinpoint, Georgia.
Cute.
Oh,
So
sounds
cute.
small.
Yeah. He is currently the U.S. Supreme Court's oldest member, appointed in 1991 by George H.W. Bush to succeed Thurgood Marshall, who was the court's first black justice.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get Strom Thurmond and Thurgood Marshall mixed up because of
It's
the
a lot
Thur,
of
and they're
sounds.
very
They're
different.
not the same.
They're
No.
black and
Quite
white.
different. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I wish we could really dive deep into what happened to this man over time because it's kind of bananas. Like I learned so much about what Clarence Thomas used to be like, and it's bonkers. So, like how when he was a child, he was raised by a single mother in the Jim Crow Deep South, like outside of Savannah, and how he was raised speaking Gula, but eventually chose to be an English major in order to, quote, conquer the English language.
What's Gula?
I think it's Gullah, like the Gullah people of like the South. Yeah.
Gullah? Okay. Sorry.
I've never
Oh,
heard of
I
that.
only think it's that because I used to watch this show on Nickelodeon called Gullah Gullah Island, and it's like a whole thing, like a whole cultural.
It's kind of like a Creole
Yeah, that's Gullah.
local dialect.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. And how he wanted to be a priest, but left the seminary after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. because he thought his Catholic boarding school wasn't doing enough to combat racism.
Yeah, okay. So
Like,
he
I'm
was
sure they
like,
weren't.
yeah. So he was woke.
Yes. And how he literally had a poster of Malcolm X on his wall for years.
That makes me really sad,
What
given
happened?
the trajectory. Yeah.
And he founded the Black Student Union at his college.
Man.
He was like very active in like Black student politics and organizing.
Dang. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
It's and how he organized and
Internalized
led
white
walkouts.
supremacy is a bitch. It's a
He organized and led walkouts to protest disciplinary inequalities between Black and white students. Although at the time he was strongly against interracial relationships because he disapproved of Black men dating white women because he thought it was unfair to Black women.
Interesting how that panned out.
Oh. Okay.
His wife is white, right?
yes.
She's
Yeah.
his second wife, but yes, Ginny
That's what I
Thomas,
thought.
batshit
Yeah.
Ginny, is white. So he had like lots of white friends. He had a white roommate that he was very close to, but he at the time in college he was like, no, like Black men should not date white women. And how at 22 he married a Black woman, Kathy Ambush, who worked. She like dropped out of college and took a job so she could put him through law school. And she put her own legal career on hold. I think now she is a lawyer. And how he had a son with her named Jamal. So what the fuck happened to this man?
Yeah.
Because the person I'm describing is very different from the person we see today. Well, at the College of the Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts, Thomas witnessed what he calls riots, but they were just like student protests against the Vietnam War. And these like skirmishes, like he like was horrified by this, that things like got rowdy. No one got actually hurt, like nobody died or anything. But it just put him off of protesting in general. And he started to like, that's when he started to like pull back from some of his like civil rights organizing, but not completely yet. It was just like the very first thing.
Yeah.
And he just instead focused more on his studies. He went on to Yale Law School, ever heard of it? And briefly interned with a civil rights attorney back home in Savannah. But that wasn't really like the experience that he had dreamed of, because this particular lawyer, like this particular individual, sounds like was an alcoholic and like not great at his job. And like hashtag never meet your heroes. Like Clarence Thomas was really upset by this and just had like a bad summer internship. So he was like, well, I guess I don't want to be a civil rights lawyer anymore, and gave up on that idea.
No.
from one internship.
Yeah. Too bad that one guy was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now he starts to fall in with some like pretty famous conservative thinkers while he's at Yale Law School, including John fucking Bolton.
Ugh. So it's Yale's fault.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, he was like this Malcolm X guy in undergrad, and then he goes to Yale Law School, and literally John Bolton, I think, like found Clarence Thomas's wallet. Like he dropped his wallet somewhere, and John Bolton returned it to him, and that's how they met and became friends. And literally, it changed like the course of history.
Oh,
Do
my
one
God.
decent thing and watch the dominoes fall.
Yeah.
I should never have returned Bleely's planner that one time.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, how fucking horrible is that? So now he starts to get in with some of these like conservative networks on the right. And he still considers himself a Democrat at this point, but he's wobbling. And then he graduates from Yale, but despite having worked really hard in law school, he's unable to secure a job at one of the big fancy law firms like most of his classmates could because it's fucking Yale. And Thomas decides to blame affirmative action for this.
What the fuck?
So this is his thought. It's not, he doesn't think it's the racism. He thinks it's the affirmative action's fault for,
Well, they are racist.
quote, devaluing his Yale law degree and making other people think that he didn't earn the Yale law degree. And so that's why he didn't get hired.
Got it. Okay.
Perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Also, he denied, including at his like confirmation hearings, that he ever benefited from affirmative action, even though he went to Yale Law School the year that they started doing affirmative action. Which, like, he had every right to be there. He had worked very hard and gone to these great schools and was a great student. But just saying that, like, I didn't benefit from affirmative action and affirmative action is why I didn't get a job after law school is like such a weird circle to try to square.
Right.
I don't get it. So anyway, he basically takes the only real job offer he gets, and that is to work for Missouri's Republican Attorney General, who is named John Danforth. And I feel like he met Danforth through the Bolton connection, but I could be wrong.
The fucking wallet!
So while there, he was heavily influenced by both Danforth and also the writings of this Black conservative economist named Thomas Sowell, who was also super duper against affirmative action and also like every other kind of social benefit, like
Equity.
yeah,
thing.
welfare and like just all of it.
What's that what the free market would want?
Right. So from the New York Times, quote, a few years later, after he was appointed by Reagan to head the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC, he would complain that Black civil rights leaders, quote, bitch, 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 moan and moan, whine and whine, end quote.
Cool.
Jesus Christ.
So he has fully switched camps.
Okay.
Now he is a rising star on the right. He switches his political affiliation, like his voter registration, and he is all in on Reagan. Oh, also, he like worked for Monsanto for a while. I fucking hate him.
It's just so fucking tragic, too, because, like, the conservative right, all these fucking white politicians are like, yes, a Black man that's going to
got it.
support all of our views so we can just
Pretend that we're not racism.
Right. Of
We're not
this, like,
racist.
tokenize this person.
We're inclusive.
It's like you're snuggling up with white supremacy, but they are just fucking using you.
Yeah, like the reason that you are now getting these opportunities is because you're allowing yourself to be tokenized and ascribing to all these ideas that ultimately harm you. Like, you're benefiting because you're being put in this special position, but you're hurting everyone else beneath you.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't fucking get it. Okay. It's fine. Basically, he was pissed his whole life that, like, he wasn't able to get the kind of, like, acceptance and recognition that he thought he deserved within, like, white hegemony.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so by flipping, he was able to be, like, special enough.
Right. I'm in it now.
Yeah. To get that seat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's a lot that we can't get into. We don't have time. His first marriage ends, I think, partially because she was like, you have changed a lot. He goes on, like, a bit of, like, an alcoholic bender phase. Then he, like, gets it back together. And in 1986, he meets, and this is her real fucking name, and I did not know that this was her real name. Virginia
Rachel
Lamp.
No. Virginia Lamp.
Virginia Lamp
Wow.
is that woman's given name.
She
That's
looks
something.
like a lamp.
Christian
Honestly,
name.
I see it.
I see it too.
And that's definitely one of those names, Virginia Lamp, where it's like, until we meet Baby Lamp, we just won't know what her name is.
Baby lamp.
And then she comes out of the loins and it's like, that's Virginia Lamp.
Imagine going through life as Virginia Lamp. I hate it.
Ginny
I'm
Lamp.
not going to imagine that.
Yeah.
Ginny Lamp.
Ginny Lamp.
From now on, we
National
will be
Lampoon.
calling this woman batshit Ginny because that's
Ginny
who she
Lamp.
is.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how they meet. This is their meet cute.
Oh, no.
They're-
Another wallet?
They're both troll attending, like acting as trolls while attending this conference about affirmative action.
Oh, God.
That's how they met.
Oh, God.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Also,
Wow.
this is who Reagan appointed to head up the equal whatever opportunity whatever commission.
Went to go laugh and troll.
Who is like anti affirmative action.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's fine. So romantic. Okay, so that's how they meet.
He appointed her to do that?
No.
No, Reagan appointed
Clarence Thomas.
him.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
at
yeah.
this.
Yeah. So she was an attorney at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and was considering a run for Congress. God help us. She was also fresh out of leaving a new agey cult called LifeSpring. Did you guys not know about Miss Lamp's cult past?
No.
I know very little about her
we
past.
can't get into it fully because that would be its own episode, but Virginia Lamp's past was that she was in this wild cult for a really long time, deep in it, and then she gets out of it and she becomes an anti-cult activist, and now she's a QAnon.
Oh, my God. He's just swanging one end to the other.
She's a little prone.
Ginny
cults.
Lamp. Oh, my God.
You guys didn't know this about
No.
Ginny?
I knew she
that-
was a QAnon bitch. I
Yeah.
didn't know that she had already been in a cult.
Yeah.
But it tracks.
Oh, man.
Wow. I wonder if she sells
Oh, Miss Lamb.
nail stickers. Because I'm in the market for some new stickers.
Essential oils.
Jamberry.
Yep.
Jamberry. I need
Yep.
some wax melts.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I need wax lips. Where's that cult?
So, this is one of their early dates. She invites him to one of her anti-cult deprogramming group meetings, and they have a great time.
No.
That's their first date.
One of them.
Oh, my God.
Rolling
Can
an
you
affirmative
imagine?
action conference and then going to a cult deprogramming meeting.
Honestly, that sounds amazing.
Yep. So
I mean,
add
I
it
would
to
like
your...
that as a first date, but we're freaks.
God.
Oh, I would 1,000% go on a date to
Yeah.
a cult deprogramming meeting.
Oh
that
my
sounds
God, yes.
amazing.
Can you
but
imagine the
not
swag
if
bag?
You need it.
The swag
True.
bag.
I think the swag bag would be really good.
Yeah, I think so.
Not if you're there unironically.
Yes.
I wrote in this joke, add it to your free date night ideas list.
Added. Holy shit.
So they got married in 1987 in a Methodist church, which I thought was weird because he was like almost a priest. He was so Catholic. So I don't know when that change happened, but whatever.
It was a happy medium between that and LifeSpring.
Yeah. So then he gets appointed to the Supreme Court, like I said, by Republican President George H.W. Bush in 1991. During his Senate confirmation hearings, Anita Hill, a former direct report of Clarence Thomas's at the EEOC, testified that he had engaged in repeated sexual harassment of her in the workplace. We don't have time to fully get into it, but here's like a really brief summary.
The pube on the coke.
I couldn't even get to that.
Oh, God.
Hill said that Thomas had, this is a quote, Hill said that Thomas had repeatedly asked her to go out with him in a social capacity and would not take no for an answer. She said he would talk about sex in vivid detail, describing pornography he had seen involving women with large breasts, women having sex with animals, group sex, and rape scenes.
Yikes.
Judge Thomas Film Festival.
Judge Thomas would also talk about his own, quote, sexual prowess in the workplace.
If you have to talk about your own sexual prowess, y'all.
It doesn't exist.
Right.
The lady doth prowess too much.
Yeah. The man doth prowess too much.
Yeah.
And he once mentioned a pornographic film whose star he was called Long Dong Silver.
Ew, I've seen the clip of her having to say that out loud in the hearing.
So
Anita
what's interesting
has been through so much.
Poor lady.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What's really interesting is that I learned in the Slow Burn podcast that he had this history of going to see like porno films in sketchy theaters back when that was like a thing.
Like Pee-wee.
And then regaling his friends with stories about the films that he'd seen. So there is like a
go
documented
to the porn theater. Who gives a shit?
Do that.
Fucking keep it in your
Just
pants.
don't talk about it at work.
Yeah.
Talk about it to your friends. Well, listen,
Keep
I mean,
it
you
to
listen to our
yourself.
show. We say ridiculous shit, but
Yes.
don't talk about it at
Don't
the
force
EEOC.
that on somebody at fucking work, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah. But I just thought it was interesting that like there's a documented history of him doing these things. So it all tracks.
Oh, God.
Okay, so we don't even have time to like fully get into the Anita Hill thing. Like that would be its own thing. And also like Joe Biden did not handle himself well during that.
No.
Anyway. Okay, so on to the corruption.
Well, I sure hope you liked that clip. If you did like that clip, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel, leaving us a nice review, and joining us on Patreon for even more video content, audio content, salacious content all around. Come join us. Treat yourself.